hard to say what to prescribe.
Dexamethasone.
It can help, but it's not effective.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Good idea, we will test.
It works, but for malaria, rheumatoid arthritis and systemic lupus erythematosus.
Pity. Would have been great if it worked.
Hydroxychloroquine. Hydroxychloroquine. Hydroxychloroquine.
What was that?
It seems that it will be like that, medicine in the 20th century.
At least he won't see that.
Unlike viruses like AIDS, Ebola or Zika, social media isn't all negative. The Epsteins and other predators can attest to this. In fact, everyone was afraid. Some from the virus, others from the mask, others from the vaccine. Oh yes, the doctors have found a vaccine, others from loneliness, others from the neighbor's dog. And some protect themselves from the virus and others make for themselves more acceptable ideas than that of a beast virus from a bat or a pangolin. A pangolin? What is that? A virus is very small, and the one in this story looks like a ball of yarn with little pom-poms. He has no legs, no arms, and not even a brain. Not even wings. And when I say he's small, I mean he's really very, very tiny little. We don't even see it. In addition, it does not survive very long when it is not warm in another living being. This is to say how negligible it would be if it did not have the ability to reproduce. The lifespan of the virus depends on two things: the temperature and the surface on which it is. On the skin, it can survive up to 9 hours, and on smooth surfaces he could live up to 28 days at a temperature of 20 degrees. Because the virus has no legs or wings, its preferred means of transport is the drops of water that we constantly exhale.
Alcohol kills, yes, but so slowly. This is a phrase we heard at pub counter when it still existed. But this sentence was spoken by humans, because for virus, it is quite different. They are struck down in 15 seconds. Same thing with soap. But many humans prefer alcohol to soap. No problem, both are effective. But it is necessary to avoid ingesting them.
While viruses are quite simple and present few varieties, except when they are having fun and mutate, the same does not apply to humans. We have all kinds of humans. Young, old, small, big, white, black, skinny, fat, the healthy, the sick, the rich, the poor, kings, doctors, scientists, workers, retirees, the students, the reckless, the fearful, religious, military, beautiful, ugly, workers, employees, and fortunately, caregivers. Anyway, there are a lot of kinds of them. Following in the footsteps of Leonardo da Vinci, Archimedes or Hippocrates, some of the fathers of modern science, scientists have always shown great curiosity. And some of them wondered about the nature of viruses and their influence on human health. They were troubled by the fact that, of the millions of known viruses, some killed more than others, and that some populations were more sensible than others. They then understood that it depends on the ability of humans to defend themselves. They had discovered the existence of antibodies. They also discovered viruses in animals, and they quickly realized that humans were very helpless in the face of animal viruses, and that a virus that crossed the species barrier would cause disasters. Some scientists have been claiming this for ages. The danger was therefore known. Contact with wild animals had to be kept to a minimum in order to preserve human health. And panic gripped the doctors and other scientists. They told the kings of the earth about it. And panic seized the kings of the earth. What to do? They had never seen this. An epidemic that is transmitted at such a speed, it was completely new. So to prevent the virus from multiplying, the kings of the earth asked the people to stay in their homes. But they were not familiar with the virus. So they hesitated, they decided from day to day, often with contradictory decisions from one day to the next. But no one had a solution to stop what had just happened. So scientists remembered that in other countries people wore masks and those masks limited the number of viruses transmitted. So the kings of the earth told people to wear masks. So the kings of the earth controlled their supply of masks. The reserves were empty. So the kings of the earth said masks were unnecessary, but rushed to buy new masks. So the scientists said that in pubs and restaurants, people don't put on masks, because it's difficult to eat or drink with a mask in front of your mouth. So the kings of the earth closed the pubs and restaurants. So the scientists said the viruses travel by plane. So the kings of the earth decided that the planes would stay ashore. Then they closed the borders, which pleased those who prefer not to mix with people from elsewhere. So the scientists said the viruses were going to school. So the kings of the earth closed the schools. The kings of the earth were in great trouble. So they paid people not to work. The kings of the earth found magic money for it. It's called debt. But it was good because the money was cheap. No, not all the kings of the earth have said that. Only the rich, and yet not all of the rich. In the United States, we have seen lines of cars in front of food banks. In India, no one has helped the millions of small, precarious and self-employed workers. But it got people tired. People want to work, people want to go to the pub and to the restaurant, and take the plane. So all the people said, we are restricted in our freedoms. And all the people were right to say that. So people said, we have no choice, we will be patient. Other people said, they invented all this to annoy us. Meanwhile, people are dying in all countries. Many people have said, we are restricted in our freedoms to protect us from the virus. Some people said, they created the virus to restrict our freedoms. If he had had a brain, the virus would have enjoyed this spectacle. The weight of the restrictions is heavy, but the virus is deadly. Well, it's true, it's not deadly for everyone. Who do we sacrifice first? The old, the fat, the sick? Or are we able to withstand some temporary restrictions? Oftentimes, fear drives humans to irrational reasoning and behavior. The fear of the virus, and even more that of the consequences for their comfort, pushes many to deny, to minimize its danger, even its existence. They are then easy prey for the prophets of doom. this mind-boggling claim that Bill Gates was behind it, with proof that he was already talking about a pandemic in 2015. For those who have followed the news a little in recent years, Bill Gates' speech makes sense. Specialists have been warning about this danger for years. For those who invent this kind of nonsense, it doesn't matter whether they have some basis of truth or not. The important thing is that these statements circulate. There will always be something left of it. And out of the thousands or even millions of relays on social networks, there is no danger that they will go unnoticed, and on the current fertile ground, they are likely to convince more and more people. This is called conspiracy. And it is far from dating from today. Let's differentiate between conspirators and those who get bamboozled by their rhetoric, which is relatively easy. Conspirators are the ones with an interest in spreading fake news, and the most incredible are the most likely to succeed, in order to enrich themselves, to take power, or simply to gain notoriety. The discourse is generally well run, takes all the aspects of progressive discourse, refusing the influence of media subservient to the system. The speech has a scientific and rational appearance. The speech unveils disturbing details, asking the question, but never answering it encourages the imagination of those who listen to it. There is no such thing as coincidence. The virus cannot have appeared by chance. There is necessarily something that is hidden from us. And, as would be expected, new stupid theories are emerging. Vaccines do not protect. Vaccines are dangerous. They will inoculate you with nanoparticles to trace you, as if those who own a smartphone needed this to be traced. Vaccines make you autistic. And many other insanities. And of course, always with the semblance of scientific arguments that made the heyday of the conspirators. Question: what good is it for them?